Boom. So
It,
we is live, baby. Can y'all see the time frame up there?
Yeah, I
oh,
see it in the corner.
oh, you live on YouTube?
No, no, no. We live on the record.
That's just yeah. He just
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
session.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Now,
to
real
next
quick,
week,
real quick. Are we gonna divulge, or is it proprietary information on what we're doing this on?
proprietary information.
Yeah,
What
is
you
it
mean?
That's some big words, but you
like
gotta
a trade?
explain for
Is
you
it a
gotta explain
trade
for the
secret?
simple.
Like, are we not supposed to? Should we not say what app we're doing this on?
Now we can. It's connected with YouTube. Like I can do a live stream through
Okay,
YouTube on this app. Yeah, no, everything's good.
but that's what I'm
Uh,
saying. Are we not saying the app name? Is what I'm trying to.
Oh,
Are we
oh,
keeping that on the
we don't
low?
have to. Yeah, we
I'm
don't
just
have
asking.
to.
You the boss. I'm just asking a question.
Nah, we ain't got to.
All right, all right, all right.
It don't matter to me. I
All
mean,
right.
now you know
they
what?
too.
I forgot. Hey, look, I forgot. You know what I'm saying? I forgot. You got 8,000 subscribers. You got Jay with 6, and you 80. So we don't understand the big money stuff when it comes to this shit. So we
Oh,
understand now. I understand. See, me and Jay, we would say, "Hey, look, I have such and such product," but we have a small channel. But you would have everything blurred out, like, "Yo, I got these such and such
Yeah,
product." You know what I'm saying?
gotta have the paperwork behind
Yeah.
it and
So
all that. You know what I
I
mean?
understand. Look, I need to block this out. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you're saying. I need to block
hey,
out the company, right?
hey. I'm not. All I'm saying is I'm just asking because you see people don't think that I orchestrated this. Let's stop before we even start your little spiel and all that bull stuff. This is not my fruition. This is D. Raj doing this, and I'm coming in here and I'm just playing the sidelines. That's it. You the chef. I'm washing the dishes. So they don't think it's TB orchestrated this. Now I'm
Hey, but you
backing
already
it
know what it is.
100%.
You already know. You
Huh?
know you the daddy of all black YouTubers. So
Don't see, and that's what get me in trouble right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, we here for the trouble though. We about that life podcast
about
for
that life,
TV.
you already
all
know it.
right.
And then look, it got your picture in the middle.
I
I
know,
was
right?
gonna say something about that. I was like, I ain't gonna say
It's
that. I'm just gonna
all
let him
TB
explain it, dog.
idea, bro. It's all TB idea,
Look,
man.
I would have never thought to do this right here if it weren't for TV. It was
Yeah,
him the whole time. We've been talking about this for 5 years, man.
a minute. So I'm gonna
Five
shut up
years.
and let you do your spiel and everything. How you want to start it?
Okay, so we're just gonna go and we'll start out. This is I'm About That Life podcast. We about to
Mm-hmm.
take the gloves off. You know,
Mm-hmm.
man. You with your boy King D Raj.
Oh,
Mm.
that's where we
Oh,
supposed to come in.
oh, you go first.
So,
I'm
so
third
okay. So
string, Jay.
D-Rod's
So
the A
you
mic.
go
So
first.
TB, you the
It's
B
C
mic.
mic.
So you go second. You go second.
All right. The original, the first
Okay.
ground zero, the Guru Pitka. The reason why you're doing YouTube in the first, part of the reason why you're driving. You feel me? That's all I got to say. Trucker Brown coming through. That's
Boom.
it.
Hey, you already know checking in. Trucker name J, man. I'm just in the building, man. I'm just glad to be here. You know, that's what they gonna say anyway. I'm just glad to be here.
So look, man.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
don't have
Yes.
trucking in my
Okay.
name, so it was some people
Are
mad
you?
because I said I didn't want to have trucking in my name. So are y'all going to, with this podcast, are you going to, stay Trucker Brown and stay a trucker named Jay?
I'm gonna stay who I am, but I will
Okay.
say for the people watching, if you're starting a YouTube, do not put trucker in your name. That's the stupidest thing you
Nice.
can do. Matter of fact, it's the worst thing I ever did.
I take it even
Mm.
further. If you a trucker and want to do trucking videos, don't even do that shit. It ain't even worth it,
Now
man.
that listen, don't even go, Jay, because you starting already. Don't even
Hey, hey, man.
don't.
I'm just saying. It ain't, you know what I mean? This ain't 2015 no more, man. So if you trying to come,
Right.
or let me just warn you. Disclaimer: if you do want to do trucking YouTube, man, just tread lightly, man. This like free agency, man. It's wolves out here.
Yeah.
So
It's
Yeah.
wolves.
give me the top three reasons why a person shouldn't start a YouTube in the trucking industry.
Top three reasons why a person shouldn't start. Number one, most people can't handle an opinion outside of their own.
Mm.
Number two,
Facts.
for the people that can't handle those opinions outside of their own, they don't know how to disagree. And number three, most people are just looking for internet friends, and this ain't the place to be looking for that shit.
Cause listen, ain't nobody your friend, dog.
That's a big one, you know what I mean?
Listen, bro. Now you done struck me somewhere in my spirit. Just
Woo! Ah, yeah.
Come on now, Pastor.
You don't see them 10 knives in my bag, no.
Hey, man,
For real, they'll snitch on you too. But I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna be quiet.
Nah, you gotta elaborate. You can't
You
just
gotta
sit there
elaborate,
and not elaborate. You know what I mean? I'm segueing into
up.
you, so you say so they snitch on
you
you.
about to set me up. Go ahead, D-Rod. Say what you got to say. Why you wouldn't start a trucking joint?
Well, you know, D-Rods can't relate, man, because he cool with everybody. So it's just kind of hard for him to understand that.
But you know, like with me, man, when it comes to, again, I understood a relationship off the internet. You know what I'm saying? I understood, hey, look, what I did was I would connect with people that I feel like maybe I could connect outside of YouTube and outside of trucking. That's very few. So those people that I feel like they over here in this box. Other people are like, hey man, it's cool to connect with them on YouTube or connect, you know, we out on the road. Those people in another box. And then there's other people where, you know, on YouTube we could be cool, but there's never anything outside of that I could do. So I kept all of that because, again, I like to keep everything. I compartmentalize stuff. So the people in this box, they know a lot of personal information about me. The people in this box, they know a lot of trucking YouTube information about me. The people in this box, you just know YouTube, what you see on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So when you're able to separate that, and again, I don't expect anything from none of those groups. If it so happens to create, like with Jay, when he and I first started talking on YouTube, it was nothing. It was just, hey man, it was a guy that lived in the same area as me and wanted to learn or ask about the place I went to get my CDL. So we just started talking, and then I saw a young man going through shit that I went through at a young age. I can help him out, and then it just went from there. We started talking and learning each other, and again, we went from, it was like, he would say a fat joke, right? And he was like, yo, I know you want to say something. I was like, nah, man, we ain't cool like that yet. You know what I'm saying? So once we got to that, then I say a couple of fat jokes here and there, you know what I'm saying, from a man losing weight. But yeah, you just, you know, you separate that.
You over there trying to like Morris Chestnut and shit.
Hey, man, I wasn't gonna say nothing. You see how
you gonna have a ball head too, though.
Nah. I'm trying to catch up to y'all. You know, I'm trying to look like y'all and be like y'all, so I'm trying to catch up. You know.
Hey man,
right.
I'm gonna tell you like this, man. It's just a business move. That's all it is. Now,
right.
I say that ain't nobody your friend, dog. That's because my understanding of friend is, if you call me, you need something, I'm gonna give it to you. You get locked up, I'm gonna send you commissary for 7 years. That's my concept of a friend.
Right.
Okay. If me and you have fallen out, because I hope you get some other people on here once they agree to come on in here, we can do what we do. But if we have a falling out, I keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
Even when you acting different, or we ain't seeing eye to eye at the present time, I'm silent. And bruh, everybody know I'm solid.
Right.
Cause I know everybody business. You feel me? I know everybody business, dog.
Right.
And it's not that I'm solid for y'all. I'm solid because if I was to say something, that goes on my jacket. Right. So how can you come into close proximity with me in business, friendship, or if I'm smashing you or whatever?
Right.
How can you come in close proximity with me if you see how I air somebody else out? That means if I air D-Rod out for doing a midget in Las Vegas,
which I've never done. I've never done.
That the jury's out on that. But if I air D-Rod out for something like that, then I can do that to you. True.
Right.
Facts.
True.
So
True.
The way I looked at it is to keep my reputation intact, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing, but it ain't like that with everybody. If me and trucker named Jay stop fucking being friends, which we've done 2-3 times.
True.
If me and
Segue.
trucker named Jay
Yeah.
stop rocking with each other or stop seeing eye to eye,
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not about to go on there and be like, I know he lived in A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and where mama stay and all this, and I know what kind of cars mama drive and all that. I'm not about to be doing no. I only want to say this, but like the fair skinned counterparts that we got, when you sit back and watch their dysfunction and how they record people phone calls and talking to each other's wives, and
that's tough, man.
Yeah, they go on a different level, bro. They go on a different
their
level.
wives, talking about their wives, kids, like legal actions, like
because that joke, the joke with Mark State when I first got into YouTube, that he did with I mean, my bad, but anyway, what he did.
Nah, fuck it. You talking about what he did with Diva, right? He pulled up like
that joke was
the
tough,
tax information, and this was that was like
tough.
in the beginning. That was like 20.
You're talking about pre-Jigaboo and Marmalade scooping era. What you're talking about is the era of the bonehead truckers, when all the fair-skinned side did was just bash black truckers. Now here goes another one. Ain't no black trucker say nothing, except for the original. Now I got stuff that predate this now. I had a video called "My Thoughts on the Confederate Flag," which was the first shot crossed the bow to people, and no one else said nothing. Because the reason why no one else said nothing when they was doing that to Diva and they was doing it to Sinister and they was doing all this stuff, nobody said nothing. It's because, and then you may disagree with me, D-Raj, because this is not of a tap dancing variety, but what Negroes come into a sector, they find everybody that look like them, and they only tear down each other because they're comfortable. Because black people are scared and they love white people.
I can agree with that.
They're not about to get on here and call out the fair skin who is the same color as the white Jesus in their grandmama house. They're not gonna do that. What they gonna do here, come on here and talk about how D-Raj be trying to act nice and he got a lease fleet. How Trucker Brown this and that, how Trucker named Jay does that, because that's an easy target. They don't think there's no to be really scared, bro. Scared.
I can agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
I've never been the type to be scared because I feel like, fuck you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? Let's be honest. Ain't none of us out here boxing.
Nah.
I don't even like walking upstairs, so I don't see how we about to be out here boxing.
Right.
That's just how I feel about it. Shit.
Most of these niggas too unhealthy to put up any type of physical altercation any fucking way. They can barely get in and out of their truck, let alone fight a motherfucker. So
you ain't gonna fight nobody. You got the gout. Chill out.
Nah.
That's a fact. You know what I mean? You got a blood clot and shit.
Half of y'all over 50 need to stop beefing anyway.
That's a fact.
I don't get, man. Like that's the crazy part from my perspective is like, I don't never try to like excuse myself from the mistakes I've made, but like I came on YouTube at like 24. I'm 29 now. So a lot of people just watch me grow up. But a lot of these cats they're like grown. Like, you know what I mean? I'm talking about 35, 40, 45, 50. So I was on this joint trying to figure out life. So I got entangled, that's my new word, entangled into some shit I probably shouldn't have got entangled to. But these are cats. And I was impressionable because of my age, but these cats are, again, 40, 45. You think of like your Carolina Tankers. You think about your, let's see, let's go back. Who used to talk the most shit? Your Ike Stevens, your Carolina. Hey, man, we talking facts. This ain't shots.
Hey, taking the gloves off.
We reminiscing. We ain't trying to
all this stuff has been public, so
yeah, this is public fact, has been seen. You know what I mean? Some people deleted their videos and channels and all that, but it has been seen for the majority. So you think about, your SoCals, you think about you think about your Party Hard, you think about your Ike Stevens, your Little Guys, Little Dogs, who else? The Red Vikings. You think about all these cats that have gone, but the Frenchies, the Al Smiths, the guilties, all these cats that have gone back and forth with each other.
We're getting canceled.
and you look at the average age of these gentlemen. The average age is 40. 40. Like these are men with families, kids that are 15 plus. You know what I'm saying? Some of them got grandkids. And this ain't, if they, they're gonna watch this. This is not a shot. This is just a youngin trying to understand what part of the game is that. Because y'all will be the same ones that'll want to pull me to the side and be like, "Look here, man, you need it." But how am I supposed to respect you as an older OG like you want to be, but you acting like the young boys? You doing shit my people's doing back home. That's 19, 20, 21.
Crash dummies.
Huh? Trying to run, talking about you gonna run up on each other, tap shoulders, and all this foolishness. That sounds like a young man game.
Jesus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yet, in the same breath, you be like, "But you need to listen to me." Huh?
Yeah.
I'm confused. And that's what I never understood. And nobody ever explained it to me.
Well, you wanna take a crack at this corporate regime, D-Raj, before I start saying something? You go ahead.
Now, do you think, Do you think?
I'm up here to seek understanding. That's what I'm looking for.
As far as our ethnic group, if you believe that they are true, that's another thing I have to say too. The Willie Lynch memoirs stated that you put the small against the big, the light against the dark, the young against the old, the man against the woman. In doing this miseducation will last 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And if you believe these memoirs are true, he said that 300 years ago.
But see, it's funny you say that, because one of the reasons that I don't get into it and go back and forth with a lot of people is because I believe that. Because if you think about it, let's go with, let's get real in a sticky situation here. Christianity, right? Let's think about that. From my understanding, because I grew up in it, but I didn't read too much. Okay, my understanding. There's been war going on. There's been war going on. No, but again, that's what I'm about. That life. I'm taking the gloves off. Okay. Since the beginning of time, there's been war, right?
True.
Since I can understand, there's been war. Think about it. In every situation, there's good versus evil, light and dark, and God and devil. It's so much going on. So it's like, if that's the case, why am I fighting the next man trying to solve anything? Because clearly it's not going to solve anything. Bro, think about it. Think about what we're going through right now, right? With the virus. There is a war going on, mask or no mask. Yeah. There's a war going on. This kind of mask, that kind of mask. So why am I even going to I'm just going to take care of mine. I hate to be that way, because that's not the way we should be. Everybody, we should take care of one another. But because nobody can ever agree on anything, what's the point? Yeah. So I completely agree with that. And again, it's divide and conquer. Yeah. It's so much important stuff going on, but people talking about Will and Jada and this other shit.
And they're
so we didn't forget. Right, we didn't forget about everything else. We didn't forget about that. Now, mind you, they just did. Now, I guess because they husband and wife, but they had no mask on. No social distancing. They touching each other without gloves. So you just forget about everything.
Video at 20 million.
You know what I'm saying? They couldn't wait to watch that stuff and look at and just pay attention to the news feeds. Right, all the virus stuff is getting smaller and smaller. They ain't talking about it no more.
Well, now this is gonna hurt some feelings. Okay.
Podcast in general is gonna hurt feelings.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Of course, you got to be stupid to be married in this country anyway.
That's a fact.
You have to be mathematically less intelligent.
I agree.
For you to sign that paper and to fully not understand what the paper meant, because if you understood what it meant, you wouldn't sign it.
That's a fact. So, I didn't. When I first got married, I didn't.
you wouldn't know you don't know what you're signing. So if and what you gotta understand is common sense ain't common. You can make a good channel off relationships because relationships is a basic urge. It's a basic instinct.
Right.
Having a kid, being a good father, that is basic.
Right.
I'll go further. Retarded people get married. Down syndrome people, they get married. Retarded people have kids. So tell me what's extraordinary about something that somebody who is clinically retarded can do.
I think that goes to like
multiplying.
It's just what I'm touching on is that it is common. So when you put out something like Will and Jada did,
right,
it does well because it is the baser instinct of damn near everybody. Now,
you break down everything, right?
Everybody's doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
So everybody's gonna watch it. Now, if you come on here and try to expand intellectually, now you're getting up into the elite thought process of people, and there's less people.
Yeah.
So the pool is less. So if I was really doing this just for views, I would only touch on stars, which touches the baser instinct of vanity, marriage, which everybody's doing, sex, which everybody's doing, and conflict. If it bleeds, it leads. Right. And you will have a huge channel.
Right.
That's why when you go into the dirty parts of what we do here on trucking, it's just people talking about other people because at the basic level, that's what people click on. That is why I name my videos negative titles. And they'll be like, well, why you do that? Because you clicked it.
Yeah. Right. Facts.
Now, when I said I bought the Dragon, which ain't nobody took the title from the Dragon yet. Let's put that out there. But when I bought the Dragon, 2,000 people watched it. When I said maybe I should have quit my job in Las Vegas, 30,000 people watched it.
That's a fact. I know that from experience. Yes, sir. Yeah, but
it's simple. So a retard will come in here and say, well, I'm going to talk about D-Raj and a trucker named Jay in a inflammatory way because it's going to get me traction. And they are right. Yeah. But the problem with that is that if you try to stop doing that and go off on your actual content, they're not going to watch it because they're here for the video that they subbed you on.
Yeah.
That's why these channels that have tried to take the original down, you will never catch me because
I think that's the issue Frenchie and Red going through right now.
Like I'm
not even trying to throw shots. Like just watching their Sunday live feeds. The minute they start talking about anything besides other people, them viewers drop. Like it just does. I mean, that's not a shot. Again, we talking factual shit. We talking about why people think
that's in anybody's live. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's in anybody's.
It's interesting, man. When you really sit back and analyze, it's our people, man. Because guess what? Like you said, them fair skinned, they can come up there and talk about
flowers,
the texture of this water bottle. 45,000 views. 45,000 views.
Now I have to put this out there in pseudo defense and playing the devil's advocate. On one hand, it is not our fair-skinned brethren's fault why they get more numbers. What are the mathematics? See, you can't be on here if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, that's number one. I have 4 videos that are around 1 million hits. All of them have a white face on the front. I do not have a viral video with a black face on it. Now, why is this? The black population in this country is about 12 to 16%. The rest of it is either white people or people who think they white. And if they don't think they white, they close enough to it and they want to be.
Right.
So you just have to look at the numbers. There's more people that are more willing to sub to them because most of the country is them. You hear me? You got to think. I can name a couple cities. You know, Negroes is there. Cincinnati, Chicago, Miami, Orlando, Jacksonville, Knoxville, Tennessee, Atlanta. You know what I mean?
Dallas, Houston.
Anywhere. Well, so I just name a couple of cities. The rest of that is white people.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why they can come on here and say some stuff about something positive or whatever. It's because people are more likely to click on videos that look like them. It isn't a negative thing. It isn't a bad thing. It is just a scientific thing. When I see a face that says, oh, this is about trucking, if the person kind of looks like me and I relate to the picture, I'm more willing to click on that than somebody who looks like the Tiger King. Okay.
Now the funny thing about, because my view on the percentage of, now I don't know the numbers for fact. I just feel like we are the majority, even in this country. I feel like it's
that is gobbledygook. That makes nonsense. That's just not
how
true.
is that?
It's just not true, bro. It's just not true. If that was the case, when I go to Kentucky, I would see me somewhere. Like I would see me somewhere. I don't. And no, let's break it down. When I go to St. George, Utah, I would see me. When I go to Salt Lake City, I would see a lot of me. It's not true, bro. We are 9, 12. We're like 9-12% of a fraction of each city in this country.
I'm guessing maybe because I feel like every race is us, comes from us. So I look at it as so I'm just thinking, how can we be the minority if we're the only race that can create any skin color?
Listen. If you talk about a global scale, right?
Mm-hmm.
Globally, colored people are the minority. If you believe the written stuff, this is if you believe it, because I'm not going to tell you what I believe. 8,000 years ago, we lost our pigmentation in the Wormian Ice Age. Okay? Right. Then we come, and then those are the people who we consider to be white. Right? Mm-hmm. Those Africans went up there. Some people say that they made it with Neanderthals, whatever. They didn't see the sun for a millennia, to the point where the sun was considered a myth to these people. That's also why when you dig into a lot of these dishes in that area, it's fish and chips and pork and chips, because there wasn't really nothing growing up there because there was no sun. Now, these people through climatology, if you believe it, these people through climatology, their noses got thinner because they have to suck in cold air, and they have to warm the air up before it hits their brain. Our noses are wider because most of our DNA, we don't know now, most of our DNA is from a warmer climate. It's wider because we have to cool the air off before it hits our brain. Our hair is like a ribbon because it's supposed to roll up. Their hair is to protect the neck from warmth because the blood in the neck goes to the brain. It has to be a certain temperature. It dropped and was long to protect their neck. Okay, this comes down the Anglo-Saxon, the white dude that you know. Now, in this country, we were brought in as an import, but the massive amount of people that came in were just random immigrants that were from all over Europe. That's why Paul Mooney says white people know who's white. Okay, so when
white people know what?
White people know who's white.
Oh.
So when a lot of the white people that you see, they really got over here during the Great Migration, when all the stuff over in Europe was dumping people over here to work. That'll be your Polish people, your Italian people, that'll be all of these type of people. But they're technically considered, I think, East European. Nordic people don't consider them white, but they politically, they had to turn into one solid white block for voting power. And that's why Americans say, I'm white. But you can't go to Europe and say, I'm white. They'll be like, what does that mean? I'm Polish. Right. I'm Scottish. I'm this and that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So here, and the reason why it is that way, because they knew from Haiti and the Caribbean that it is not smart to import more of the people that you're hurting than you, because that incites a rebellion. Most of the slaves went to Rio de Janeiro and all that stuff. We didn't get that many slaves here. So this country, and there's another thing too, because I don't want to be too long-winded on this. When you hear the sentiments from Trump, and he's just speaking it though, everybody feels this way. I don't want people from asshole countries. We let more fair-skinned people into the country than we do from black countries with doing immigration. So now you're continuously flooding it with fair-skinned different ethnicities, but they will be grouped into white into the country, and you're stopping stuff from Haiti and Africa and all that because you don't want them to group into a block which is black, and then you'll lose your political stance when it comes to vote. So what I'm telling you factually, it's only, if you're trying to be nice, it's about 20% Negroes here. And that is a very nice number. Some people say it's like 12, but we'll say 20 to make D-Raj feel good.
Because it's going to be hard for me to agree with that. I just can't. It's just,
listen.
It's even with
my brother think the world is flat. So you don't have to believe in anything that's right. But understand
I can't disagree with him. I can't disagree with him. How do we know?
I'm sure. And he doesn't believe in gravity either. But he can fall off a building. What will happen?
But have you ever been out of space? How you know it's flat?
I've never been out of space, but I will say that there's no way I believe that the Earth is flat. There's no way I believe that. There's no way I'm going to believe that, because you would have to account for the explanation for water staying on to the surface is more of a better explanation of it being a sphere with gravity holding stuff to it than it being flat and it just falling off the side of the whole world. Now,
everybody is flat because of gravity pulling off the side of the world. Who knows? I don't know.
But how are you going to achieve gravity without a large mass in a spheric shape?
I have no idea.
You're not going to. Okay? You're not going to. So this whole thing where, well, white people say this, so we just don't believe it. That's bullshit. Because if you go in there in shock and I say I'm going to give you penicillin, you're not going to say I don't believe it and let me die. No, you're not. You're going to take what they give you and live. So the whole choosing not to believe it because white people said it, to me, that's just stupid. That's just ignorant.
No, I choose not to believe anything until I see it myself.
So you're going to go down to space just to be like, you know what? It is a circle.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah, because then I can say for a fact I've been up there.
All that money.
Oh,
when you don't,
we was getting to the good shit too.
I'm back. We back. The world is round. Your satellite will stop working.
Look, just that quick.
Hey, bro, when you speak the truth, they try to shut you down, bro. That's what it is. Hold on one second.
Who is that?
I'll move for you. Oh no, you good. I'm gonna just go that way. All right. But yeah, I just mean.
Hold on, go ahead, Jay.
You don't believe in anything you can't see.
That's stupid.
In a way, yeah.
No, hold on, stop. See, you gotta understand D-Raj's tap dance language, because the way he does it, D-Raj will never take a side, because that's how you stay neutral. If you're a person that's on this earth that only believes in what you see, you should die. You shouldn't be here. Because let me explain to you why. Because you depend on hundreds of thousands of species of microbes that are in your freaking stomach that you can't see. So you don't have to believe in it to benefit from it there. You're talking on this phone. You cannot break down the mathematic way we're speaking on different sides of the country right now. You can't see the beam coming out of the thing, but you're talking to me. So you can't say you don't believe in something you don't see. That's impossible.
No, but then if someone said, hey, the way that this happened, the way the phone work is this, the way the phone work is that, if I can't see it myself, okay, cool. That's cool. It's again, with the flat earth, round earth, I'm not going to argue either way. I'm just going to be like, how do you know? That's all. When somebody says, when somebody says, because I don't know, that's what I'm saying. When somebody says, I know for a fact the earth is round, but you've never been either out of space or seen it, the whole world yourself, then I'm just like, oh, okay. Or even when somebody said the earth is flat, how do you know? You've been up top, and that's all I'm saying. So I'm not saying that
what you're saying, and I'm gonna let you get your stuff out, Jay, because I have to do this. This is one of my things. So you're saying is you disagree for the sake of disagreeing, just to play the devil's advocate.
A little bit, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know.
That's all.
What I was gonna ask, where I wanted to go with it was, you don't believe in anything you don't see, so you don't believe in God,
Yes, I do believe in God. God is within me.
but you can't see him.
I see him every day. I'm
So
looking at him right now.
so you believe in God because your definition of God is different.
I guess. But think about it. Think about it. But again, think about it.
Boy, you
Think about
good,
it.
boy. I tell you, you good. I
Think about it.
tell
So who is God then? Who is God? Who is God? Who is
I
God?
mean, come on, bro. You know what I'm asking, man. You know what we black, man. We know what we was raised to believe what God
If it
was.
ain't Jesus, it's the devil. You don't heard it. Don't act like you different, bro.
You know what I'm
But I'm saying.
asking you, man.
So I know. But
I'm
your
not
question.
asking you. I'm okay. So let me rephrase. So we going to. Okay, cool. So you don't believe in Christianity's God.
No.
You
No.
don't believe that there is a potential cosmic being controlling all of this.
I do not know that.
We
That I
didn't
do
ask you
not know. I
what you know.
can't.
We asked you what you believe.
I know, but that means saying I don't know is I can't say that I believe or don't disagree or don't believe because they could get their story from places because something comes from something.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what I believe. There's something
But you
created
don't know because
something,
you
something
can't see
created
where the
something.
something came from, so you wouldn't believe that either.
I seen my wife create 3 of my children.
No,
So I know.
I'm talking on a bigger scale though. I'm talking on.
Yeah,
So
hold on.
what?
Stop. You would have to believe in microscopic and hormones that you can't see to believe the creation of your child.
But I see the results of that.
Oh, okay. All right, keep going.
I have not seen the result of the earth being round or flat. I have not seen the result of
It's
a
a slippery slope,
invisible.
man.
No.
It's a
Stop.
slippery
No, no,
slope.
no. It is again. It is slippery. That's why I say I just let it go.
You're in direct result of it because you're
Of
on
what?
the ground right now. Like you're on the ground. You're sticking to the ground through gravity. So that is a result of the earth not being round, by the way. It's being a sphere. So you are seeing the results of it. The way you are using traction and weight to move that truck is a result of the earth being of a certain mass and a sphere. You're doing it every day.
Allegedly. It could be that the earth is flat and we're sitting flat on the ground. I don't know, bro.
I'm literally about to jump off the Ritz call because it makes no. This is what I'm saying. You and my brother, and I should have sent him a link. He's gonna be mad that I didn't. You and my brother oppose for the sake of opposing.
No.
That's exactly
what
it is.
Yeah, you're borderline a conspiracy theory, man.
Yes, you're a conspiracy theorist because he one of them dudes that a person will say Jumanji was dope. Everybody would say it, and he'd be the one dude to be like, that shit was whack.
No, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that.
And we'll be like, why was it whack, man? Just whack.
Just
right?
cause.
That's what you do.
No. Again, so to get back to like believing in God, do I believe in a higher power? Yeah, because something created us, or created the earth, or created you. Something created that.
But that
because
then you believe in God.
It sounds like such a frustrating way to live because how do you believe anything? How do you function? How do you do anything?
Then
I believe in the stuff. I believe in what I can do and see, and everything else that I can't explain.
There's so many things in life that's outside of your control.
No. What he wants to say, what he should say, which would be a better way of explaining it, is that you do not want to use the Anglo-Saxon word God for the creator.
No,
because if you say creator, I believe. If you say creator and someone else says God, that could just be a distinction of region, and they use that language and you use that language, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but I'm just saying, the question was, do I believe in the Christian way?
Okay.
Right.
But
that's what I'm saying.
Christian is just a derivative and bastardized thing of 5 or 6 different religions. So even if you believe in another religion, you're believing partly in Christianity because a lot of that is paganism and different stuff that they stole from different places. So even if you don't believe in that denomination, which I agree with you on because I'm not denominational, I believe that there is a creator, or you want to call it God. I believe that pedophiles are going to hell, and I believe that decent people are going to go to heaven. But I am not going to fast. I'm not going to your church, and I dang sure ain't paying no tithes. I'm not doing
Yeah.
nothing.
You
I'm not
probably
going
should
to let the
fast
priest
though.
molest me.
Yeah,
None
you
of that
should
stuff.
fast.
You
Not for
you
the
should fast though.
religious, but
Yeah, you should.
I understand that. I eat at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I get the health remnants of fasting, but I ain't doing it for 30 days. Ain't doing none of that.
Oh yeah.
right.
Nah, well, I mean, I ain't doing it for the
D-Rod,
religion. Yeah. Mhm.
so I'm glad he said that. Do you believe in heaven and hell? Do you believe that the way that you act on this earth will have consequence when you die? Because you can't see it. You have no way of proving it.
Like believing in it.
Because you have, I know you, so you have a good moral compass. You treat
Because
people
I'm a
a
human,
good way.
No,
but not
all
because
humans do not
no,
have
but I'm
them.
not because if I go to heaven or hell, no, I don't do that. I did before when I was growing up in the church,
right.
and then once I stepped away from the church, I understood I don't need a heaven or hell to teach me to treat people right. That's where I came from. Now I understand why people use that for that. I understand that, but I said for me, I don't need a heaven or hell. That's just me. Me believing in it, I'll see it when we get there. But believing in it is or is not. But I'm going to be a good person.
So you're saying it is just your choice to be a good person. They say most
Yeah.
people choose to be a good person because it is the most logical way to live the longest in this society. If you were in a society where you can get away with your baser instincts, you probably would be a terrible person.
I just
If
maybe
you
I
live,
just don't have time for it.
I'll put it this way: pedophilia is rampant in third world countries because most people do not see anything wrong with it when you get to the bigger scale of actual humanity. Okay,
Right.
here is considered wrong, just like here is considered wrong to rape a chick. But if you're in a Mongolian culture, that's actually how they get their wives. They steal it from the other people. So it's like it's perception of society which makes you good. You're just saying I'm good for this society. But in 300 years, they may look back on you as a barbarian because you ate meat. And everybody
True.
may be vegans up there, and they may say that all them people went to hell because they ate meat. So you see what I'm saying? So you are good for what the society considers to be good right now for you to survive within the society.
Right.
Now, if all of this failed and your kids were hungry and a
I gotta do
family
what I gotta do.
was driving by with food,
I gotta do what I gotta do.
then
I gotta do what I gotta do.
then we can't say we're good or bad. We are what we are doing to the circumstances given to us. So you telling me you're gonna kill that dude and his kids?
I didn't say I was gonna kill him. I just say I gotta do what I gotta do.
That is literally what you have to do. So you can't say I'm gonna do what I have to do and that not be it, because that's what has to happen. He has food. There's food nowhere else.
Right.
Kill him and take his food. Now, are you gonna keep his kids and feed them? No. Kill everybody and take the food. If you ain't
No,
gonna kill
I keep the kids
and eat them, huh? You said
I
what?
keep the kids.
Yeah,
I
you
love
a
the
snack
kids.
later, right?
Oh shit!
Right?
All right, I'm back.
Yeah. But you're gonna keep the kids because you need a snack later, right?
No, I keep the kids because now I have a bigger army to get the next person.
Now you have
for
more
food.
people to feed. Now,
So we got to go get more people.
Now, why am I going down this path? Because if you look at it like an anthropologist, the blade like bones, someone who digs up stuff and looks at how people live, that is what we do. Every time the society goes down or there's a famine, cannibalism goes up. That's what we do. So the first so now what's right and wrong?
Again, that goes back to what I said earlier. From the beginning of time, it's been war. From the beginning of time, and again, that's the way. Because think about even when it comes to women to men, when it's 1 to 8, it's war between women trying to get that one man.
Well, war is due to the scarcity of resources because everything on this planet is a finite resource, which means Thanos' theory was correct. He's completely right, dude. Now, you gotta be an asshole to do it, but he won't wrong.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody sat in that place and be like, that math doesn't add up. That adds up.
Right.
So was Thanos wrong? Or was he right? So now
he was right. But before you do that, is there an alternative before you do that? can we find a way to do what we, you know what I'm saying, to make sure everybody is able? Because again, think about it, we live in a greedy society. Gimme, 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 gimme. That's one of the reasons. And then especially when people talking about some overpopulation, that's a bunch of bullshit. I've been driving
That
the
is
road for a
not
long time. Huh?
over. My
So we
my
overpopulated.
Negroes, dude. If everywhere we are, everything dies but us, you're overpopulated. Everything is dying because it is more people than the land can sustain. That is overpopulation
I
by
don't think
definition.
that's it's because of what they're doing to the land to try to feed again,
And
greedy, greedy, greedy.
I feel you, D-Raj, but you're doing that to the land because there's too many people to provide resources for. You understand? That's why when you go to a third world country, they may have a lot of problems, but stuff is growing and wildlife is around, right? But then when you go to New York, you wouldn't even think that New York probably had American lions back then. Everything's dead. It's overpopulated, bro. The world is definitely overpopulated. That. You know why
Maybe
this is
cities.
so. Do you know why this is so important? Because this is math, and math does not lie. It doesn't lie, bro. It is what it is. You understand? The oil will run out. The fresh drinking
Right.
water will run out. All the
True.
emissions in the air will start affecting the earth because of too many people that you are providing for. That is not a thing that you can believe in. That is an equation. You understand? The thing is, I feel like, and I could be wrong about this, nature throws you a COVID-19 or something every once in a while just to be like, hey, too many of you. You got to go. Or
But
they
see,
throw you.
it couldn't be COVID because never mind. I'm gonna say that's gonna be a little
They
crazy when I
made up
say.
COVID in the lab. That what you
No,
about
no,
to
no.
say?
I was saying it did. No, I was just.
That's what
I
I
don't want to
thought.
say
Hey,
it.
that's what I thought.
No, I
That's what
wasn't
I
gonna say
thought.
that. But I mean, it could have. But again, I just feel, especially with the
Aren't, aren't
third
most
world
diseases
countries.
aren't most diseases man-made? Not to cut you off, D, but aren't most diseases or the more serious diseases? Because if that's the case, then
Mm,
how would we even be here? I mean, if these diseases today, as bad as they are, like a COVID, like AIDS, like some of the more serious diseases, cancer and stuff like that, if they were around 2,000 years ago before the modern medicine that we have today, how would we have survived that?
Well, then you would have to understand the relations between antibodies and red cells and white blood cells and building immune. That's one thing. Also, you can say that it's man-made, or is it a byproduct to
yeah,
man having to do certain things to sustain the population?
that's a fact.
You said, and
Again,
also,
the problem is profit. That's the problem.
bingo. The problem is
That's the problem.
profit, and the problem is that's why on Star Trek no one talks about money for the most part, because on Star Trek there is no universal basic income. They just don't use money. You just get what you want. You just go to the bar and say what I
Right.
want. You just get it. Now
Right.
they do that to eliminate the basic fighting over resources, so they can focus on going further into intelligence and knowing and learning.
And again, that's my point
I never thought about that.
of me thinking the way I think. And even when it comes to business, because I tell people I'm not in this to be rich. I'm in this for a certain lifestyle. And that's what I'm saying. Like all the stupid stuff that we argue about and this, that, what I'm saying? It's just like me personally, I have bigger and better things to worry about. So if Earth, and we joking to something, Earth is flat, Earth is round, I clearly don't care right now. Unless it's a I need to know. You know what I'm saying? Is God real? Is Christian? All I know right now, I got 5 mouths to feed. That's what I know. I got friends that I want to make sure that's good, stuff like that. That's what, and then I'll expand one person at a time onto other things. But it's always in the betterment, in my opinion, for the human race. So that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
I'm personally someone who believes that intellectual and scientific understanding is in the betterment of the human race. So I do like to expand my mind past things I don't need to know, but I also enjoy doing it. But if you're somebody who has something on their plate like y'all, and you need to focus on what's there at hand. There's nothing wrong with being like that, but at the same time, intellectual expansion of the brain is the only reason why we're living till a certain age anyway right now. That's the only reason why a lot of things are going the way they are. That's the reason why you're in a vehicle that can pull 80,000 pounds 90 miles an hour. That was intellectual expansion, that was testing, that was crashing, that
Right.
was, so you're benefiting from it. But do you have to participate in it? No, you participate
No.
in your value system. What do you consider a priority? Does Jay
Yeah.
consider rims on a Crown Vic a priority? If he does, that's what he'll buy.
Hey,
Right?
man,
True.
rims,
True. But
rims,
that's it.
cameras,
But my
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But my thing is, again, everybody has their role. That's my thing. Everybody has their role. So the
I
people,
disagree.
again, this. So you got to know everything.
No, but I don't believe everybody has their role. Everybody has their role. It's pretty much the basic science of eugenics. It is the basic science of most black people are less intelligent. It's the basic science of the caste system in India. Everyone has their role. I'll put it this way. A better way to put that is not everybody needs to reach their potential. But when you start saying everybody has their role and more people start believing it, it'll start creeping its way into the lawmaker's brain, and then you'll have stuff like, well, you're black, so you can't be a scuba diver because y'all lungs are underdeveloped.
I got
So
that.
they'll start sectioning people off in a way where it's like, and their group is always the one that can do shit. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be real careful with that type of thought. Everybody does not need to reach the height of their intelligence to be happy, is a better way to put it. And also, the smarter you are, the less happy you are. Because dumb people are way happier than
That's
you.
a fact. It's been times where I tell my wife I want to go back in the matrix sometimes
Hold on.
because of the because of the things. Oh well, you thought well, bad. We were talking.
The original.
We have been brought to you. This is our commercial. All right, we're back. We have been sponsored,
This
but
podcast is brought to you by Arrowhead Water.
Listen, Emily be tripping now. I gotta handle that. But it's one of those things where I have a better question for you. What is y'all end result thought? And I'm not gonna say nothing. Is y'all end result thought local to OTR?
end result. You want to go first? You want me to go?
Local end thought of local OTR. I would say, as someone who has, I can't even think of a word, who has actively tried to, partake in both. I think it comes down to a matter of kind of like what D-Roz just touched on. Either you want to be in the matrix or you want to break out of it. I think that for someone like me, 757, never traveled outside of a 25-mile radius. What you see, you want to be. You know what I mean? That's where the rims on the Crown Vic, as you elaborated to, come from. That's where the
Black culture.
J's come from. You know what I mean?
He was
So,
gonna try to defend them rims on that Crown Vic.
hey, I wouldn't be me if I did, baby. But anyway, so yeah, you grow up seeing a certain lifestyle, and you consider that normal, just like we consider back to, marriage normal. We consider God real. We consider the earth sphere, whatever. So we consider the 9 to 5, traveling 10, 15 minutes to work. We consider that normal. We don't try to, as you said, think beyond what we need to think to survive. But when you enter into that realm of, learning things that you don't need to learn, and you experience things that you may not need to experience, but you do experience it and you get a taste for it, it's just hard to go back, man. If I would have never went OTR, then yes, I would have vouched local for the rest of my life because I wouldn't have got a taste for it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like sex. Once you have sex without a condom, you never want to wear a condom again. So
What's a condom?
you know what I'm saying? So I think that it's just all about, you know, it's just dogs gonna be dogs, cats gonna be cats, man. Some people just can't handle being a dog. Some people can't handle being a cat. You know what I mean?
Go D
So
Rod, since you a big boy fleet owner. I would
I'm
love
about
to
to
get
say,
your
I don't know if Jay, I don't know if you what's the end result, but I'm mine. Um, for just from my experience, uh, local. If you are not trying to grow a fleet, if you're not trying to make the most money that you're trying to make, and you okay working some back breaking, because again, people always talk about these special jobs where they work from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and make $80,000 a year. But the most local jobs, you're working 12 to 16 hours a day, and you're making you're working OTR hours. And then if you want to take a day off, they're looking at you like you stupid.
yeah,
How do I know that? Oh, because I tried for 2 months. So OTR, it can be the same thing, but you can if you're really trying to. I came into trucking to set myself apart from the average Joe. That's what I came into trucking for. I came into trucking to change my financial situation and to grow a business. And from the things that I saw, the best way to do that was OTR because now I have no limits. I have no cap on what I can do. Local, this is all you're going to do. Period. That's all you this is what you're gonna do. Wait,
I got
what, overtime?
I gotta play devil's advocate, man. That's
Okay.
not entirely true. You know what I mean? It's just harder. It's just
What
harder.
you gonna do? What you doing? What you mean?
I mean that, a lot of oversized load drivers, a lot of
Okay,
drivers.
again, bro, you stepping out the rent, bro. Now, how many people gonna do oversized stuff?
I'm just
How many
it has
people?
to it has
Now
to
think
be a
about it.
part.
How
It
many
has to
people?
be a part of. You can't just box it out because you don't think that a lot of people are doing it. You have to include it in there. Just like it's part of the argument. If it's possible
Can
to
be.
do, it's part of the argument. You know what I mean? To try to say anything else, you show your bias. So for the sake of the conversation, you have to include these things that even though rare, trust me, I know, bro. You know that I know. But I'm just saying for
Right.
the sake of the conversation, you can't
So
just,
can I ask you a
oh,
question?
come on,
Can I ask you a question? So
come
a
on.
local oversized driver makes more money than an OTR oversized driver?
That wasn't the point. That wasn't
absolutely
the
not.
point.
But
That
they do
wasn't the
make
point.
more than the average local driver that you are talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, how many people are doing that?
And the bigger
But
question is how many oversized things need to be moved around a local setting all the time.
Again,
again,
that's what I'm saying.
again, that's why I said no matter how rare it may be, it's still there. Because I'm telling you, because I know this is what people are gonna say.
Well,
I've
well
seen it in
let's
my
listen,
comments time and time again.
listen. The re-education. Number one, you being at a place or on an account that is giving you steady oversized loads are slim to none. Usually, those are companies that are not really big and corporate, and usually the average watcher, you're not getting in because they're in what they call a good old boy system.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good old boy system, bro. They not just taking any and everybody. So it's true, it's there, but is it accessible to most people? And the real
No,
answer is no. But he's right.
Right.
It is there.
I
Now
know it's that.
you can run chemicals, you run that. The reason why you're not gonna make as much as OTR is because your home time, according to the bean counters in the top of the regime, your home time is considered a portion of your pay.
True.
So the fact that you get to go home, Jay, and lay up all on sweet meat and all that, drink beers in the backyard and all
Yeah.
that,
Hey man. Hey.
you're not gonna get paid as much as someone who's OTR because they're taking in the factor that I don't get to do that.
Right.
But to some people, they happily accept that payment.
I'm
They,
not saying that they should or they shouldn't because when I did that in the past, I was the bad guy. What I will say is this. What I will say is this with his is just numbers. if I make $65,000 on the road and you make $65,000 at home, I make $20,000 more than you. Because at home, if you're living a basic lifestyle, it's about 20 grand a year. So rent $1,000 a month, that's 12. Car $500 a month, that's $5,000-6,000 a month. We're at $20,000. Then we didn't talk about food, screwing, pop insuring out, all of getting in the car, putting gas in it, going to the bar, club, buying clothes. You're gonna end up, if we look at any job as basic business or gross and profit, an OTR driver is going to end up with more profit because the truck provides most of the basic needs that they need. So if you're trying to get this, if you're trying to, because let's be real, most of y'all is jigaboo, marmalade school.
But that was gonna be my question.
So,
You're coming from the perspective of a single man. The average truck driver has a family, so that 20,000 is going to be spent regardless, locally or OTR, because you have a family to provide for.
that's
But my family spends less when I'm on the road.
Hold on, let's stop. First of all, you deciding to have a family is a choice that you make.
Right.
That's a choice that you make. So saying it like it comes with the territory, it's just in disingenuous. You decided to slide into a vagina and release your genetic material into it. That is a choice you made. So if that's a choice you made, it is also your cross to bear. We're not going to factor that into it because you had the choice not to fuck, and you didn't take it. So it's you can't come to the table and be like, well, you're single. That's a choice you made, just like I made the choice to be OTR or to be whatever. It's a choice that you make. So it's a factor that you should have thought of before. That's why you're not supposed to have your kid before your career. The reason why this is such a prevalent problem is because people have their children before their career. That's why fertility banks are so ridiculous in New York. Because
that's a norm, though. Like
it being normal does not make it not stupid. I don't care if it's normal. It's still stupid. Right. That's why when you go over to the Ivy League, they do need fertility clinics because they get their career situated first. And by the time they're finished doing that, they're kind of losing their youth and they have to go get help to conceive a child. Now, I'm not saying either way is whatever. What I'm saying is the cross to bear when you do one of the choices, you can't bring it to the table because that's what all of us chose.
Yeah. Or what they do is their family already got them taken care of. So they already got their career chose. That's when they have them early.
And this is another thing too. We'll touch on. I can't really speak on white life, but black life. Another factor is that about 60-70% of black women make more than black men. So a lot of the men out here saying they got to send their money home are lying. There's lying because 80% of the master's degrees and bachelor's degrees and PhDs in our sector of ethnicity are black women. And they make more than us. So when you go off on the road, that stuff is already taken care of. Y'all just ain't being real. They don't want being real about it. They're just not being real about it. My ex made $300
well, I send money home.
Huh?
We lost your D-Raj.
You tell you sending money home, bro, because your phone don't work.
Right when we be getting into the good shit,
bro,
right?
Hey, bro, we back, cuz. We back, guys. It's because I'm beside this mountain right here, cuz.
Bro, my ex made
I send money home.
Made $300 plus a year for most of my driving career. I do have a child that I had when I was young, dumb, and full of cum that I had to send back for. But then what I did, I learned another thing to do. I learned something else to diversify my income. What you're supposed to do is adapt. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to figure out, well, how can I supplement my income by another skill? You have 11 hours a day to sit there. If you haven't learned another skill, it's because you're stupid as fuck, or you're more interested in entertaining yourself during your drive shift instead of listening to Skillshare to learn another marketable skill to supplement your income. That's the truth about it. Because all we do is sit on our ass. Let's be real.
Right.
So if you're driving all day and you're not listening to Skillshare or documentary type or listening to audiobooks all day, you are wasting 11 hours a day that you could have learned something to supplement your income because you want to look at DJ Academics and Will Smith and Jaden Butts jumping up and down on IG, or you're talking to your side bitches when you're supposed to be talking to your old lady. You whatever people doing.
Right.
When you could have learned something, but no one wants to learn. You know why? Because in our neighborhood, intelligence or learning something or speaking eloquently is considered white.
Yeah, right. That's a big fact.
So when I start coming on here and explaining stuff, and I lose my southern draw, and I start really explaining it, I'm a bitch ass white nigga. It's like it breaks down.
Right.
You should have learned something. I've been driving for 8 years. Of course, I know how to use my 8 cameras because I had to teach myself something else. Once you learn how to park and stay on the road, trucking's done.
Yeah.
What else did you learn?
How to get the good rates. How to get the good rates.
how to manage that flat rate daddy, you know? So look, ATV, I got a question. So you talked about.
No, he never told us. He never finished getting on his OTR local spiel.
Yeah, what's your end all be all?
I believe that the divisions are not one size fit all. And as I've grown older, I've kind of softened to this position, is that you got to do what's good for you. But do not complain about not being ahead in life or having things paid off at 45 years old. Because say, well, I never had the extra income. You had an option. You chose local. So what I'll say is do what's good for you, but take the consequences of that decision. That's what I would say.
True. I'm with it. So I got a question.
That's a fact.
Because you talk about your son. So many other YouTubers and people in your comments, you'll see them say that you are, a deadbeat dad for being on the road and not being around your son. What do you have to say to those people that say that about you?
That is the let's be real about for single fathers. Number one, having my kid at 20 years old, the first thing I need to do is recognize that was a mistake. I shouldn't have did that. That was wrong for me to do, and I did not do it again.
Right.
So, also, my choice of mate at the time wasn't based on her values. It was based on how she was shaped. So that result of that situation is me is choosing a partner based on her sexual attributes and not what she believes and all that stuff. I also was on drugs. Let's be real. I was doing drugs. No, I'm not saying that is the reason why I did it with her. I'm just saying it's a factual thing. We did drugs together while we made this child. That was our thing. We sit down, we do drugs, and then we get butt naked and get nasty. That's what we did. So, in this decision, it stems a lot of bad byproducts. I do not outwardly blame my baby mother for a lot of things because I'm someone who takes responsibility. I had a child with someone I wasn't even a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship with. It was just sex. It produced a child. We don't believe the same things. So now it's a constant battle back and forth. What I will say is this. My child support has been, since I've been in trucking, enough to cover every single one of her bills. And I'm going to tell them, like I tell her, you cannot receive the money from my sacrifice and then criticize me for my sacrifice.
True.
I have not had,
True.
I didn't have a house lease and a car note from 18 to 34 because I always kept extra money to be able to support that situation if anything happened. I sacrificed because then there's nothing to my education level put me in a position where this is the path I have to take to provide a certain level of lifestyle for my kid. So I cashed in, I sacrificed hugs and kisses for him not to be like, I couldn't afford cleats for football, for him not to be like, we live in the project, for him not to be like, my mom's car broken down right now. I cash those in. My son has a phone that I pay for that he can FaceTime me at any time, and he does whenever he wants to for us to stay connected through telecommunications like we're doing now. And he knows that every day that I'm away from you, I am working. I do not have, and let's just be real, I do not have the education level to pull $140,000 a year in Norfolk. I don't have it. And that is not me making a choice. That is a fact. Anyone who's ever worked in a warehouse knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
So my thing was, another thing I wanted to do too, I want to move away from the 757 mind state. So when I get my stuff to where I need it, I'm going to bring my son to somewhere that's completely different, to a culture shock, for him not to be one-minded and smoking a Black and Mild and drinking a 40. That's another decision too. Now, someone may disagree with this, and that's okay, because some people disagree with giving their kids any drugs. Some people disagree with having their kid in it's your choice.
Yeah.
Right.
I had a kid years before I found what career I was going to be able to be in. That is my mistake. She didn't rape me. Listen, I'm high on that stuff. Smelling like strawberries from Victoria's Secret. What are you gonna do? Like, it is what it is. It's about to happen. I'm 20 years old. I'd have screwed the vacuum cleaner if it looked at me wrong. I don't care. I was young.
Right.
So it is what it is. So and another thing too, regardless, if you're not in the house with your kid, you're a deadbeat father in this culture. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter. That's what they say. It don't matter none of that shit, bro. You a deadbeat father. You left me. Woody. They're not gonna say, "Hey, son, your dad had good penis and we're having sex and I didn't want to."
It's crazy. It's
crazy
you say that. It's crazy you say that because I'm married and have been there since my son was. And D-Raj can attest to this. Like, been there since my son was born. Me and my wife have had bad times, but we've been pretty consistent. Never better now. But we were married, and when I was on the road at one point, was this affecting me going local? It was family members that considered me deadbeat-ish because I wasn't physically there. Even though I'm married to his mother, I'm same telecommunication, and I'm making money for the family. But like, I had to actually do a live feed one time on Facebook and address that shit because it was family members on my wife's side of the family that were bashing me in front of my son because I wasn't physically there. So I can relate to that.
that. And let me tell you why. Because number one, they don't like your economic windfall, so they're gonna bash you anyway. Number two, there's a reason why people like doctors or policemen and stuff like that more than they like us. It's a more prestigious and honorable job in our society. Okay, even though we make more than most of them, because the average doctor working at your hospital makes about $80,000 a year. All of that, the doctor, he make all his money. Those are people with practices, like the lease driver.
Right, specialized. Yeah.
Or surgeons, or the administrative arm in management. But the ones you go in there, because I talked to a doctor for a while, long time ago. I talked to a doctor for a while. I gave her that spliggity diggity, but she never really wanted me around her friends because she said that I didn't have a bachelor's degree. And I was like, but I make more than you. So like, there's no way you make more than me. Well, let's pull out our W-2. Figure it out.
Right.
She made $87,000 a year. I was in the oil field making $148,000 a year. Company. And she was like, well, how is this possible? I said, not only that, you make $80,000 a year. How much do you owe in student loans? She owed $340,000 in student loans.
You got to pay them because they gonna garnish if you don't pay that shit.
So us. But the thing is, she's home every day. And if I was to do those, I would be home every day. But let's be real. Doctors and lawyers are not home every day.
No.
They work 36-hour shifts. They go out of town on seminars. They have a high level of turnover and cheating.
Man, regular 9 to 5 ain't home every day. They just don't admit that shit. Them guys putting in 16-hour shifts at the warehouse, man, they sleeping in their car to go back to work the next day.
So basically, it's a society thing. It's like, you're not here every day in this thought process, because the same way I throw it back. Well, if I'm a deadbeat dad, you're a deadbeat mother. Because you work.
Right.
And a deadbeat mother under your premise.
Yeah.
And what are you compared to the housewife that is who only handles her children and don't have to work? Are you a deadbeat mother? They'll
Right.
never say that because we can never say anything negative about women.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was watching a podcast or something where the lady was like, "I feel bad about not going to work." It was like, well, because she had a kid. It's like, well, do you feel bad about leaving your kid to go to work? You know what I'm saying? So that's a perfect example right there. Because even I've had someone say to my wife, I wouldn't pitch you as a single mom. Like, excuse me?
Wow.
And that's it. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't believe. I'm like, okay, we got past
You
that,
left
but
your
it
old
was just
lady
like,
like that, no.
no. A friend of hers said that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
a
did
friend,
she
because
ask her why does she think she's a single mother?
Because he's OTR.
yeah, because I was on the road. Yeah, because I was on the road. Yeah, but I mean, my wife, she handled it, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that
And,
it's
and,
like,
and,
damn.
and it's crazy because as somebody whose wife had a babysitting service, most single mothers are not raising their kids.
Fact.
They just the daycares
Because
are.
for real, the school, the before school
Schools,
program,
yeah.
the school and the after school program raise the kids. You got 2 hours with them and your feet hurt, you sleep. Stop.
Yeah. My wife had
Yeah.
kids that she would have from 6 in the morning to like 11 at night. You know what I mean? And she taught them how to read. She taught them how to walk. She potty trained them. She was their mother. These
Yeah.
5 kids, these 6 kids that are staying all fucking day. She
Facts.
raised them. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the parents would get jealous because she had more of a connection with their kid than they did. Their kid would respond to her in a way that they couldn't dream of getting them, and they would be upset with her. And
Now, the
it's in
bigger question is, why can't we call them deadbeat mothers for doing that?
society.
Yeah, you can't say that.
Let me
I
tell you
mean,
what
you can, but they're going to attack you.
They're going to
You
say,
could get canceled.
they're going to say, if you made enough money, I wouldn't have to work. So now the reason I'm a deadbeat mother still falls back on you for being a subpar provider.
And now we can't win. So we can't win.
Women got it easy, man. Women got it easy. That's crazy.
But this is the other stupid
Jay
thing.
said that. I didn't say that, woman.
If I'm a subpar provider, why would you allow yourself to be pregnant in the first place? Because you ultimately have the control. So you let yourself be pregnant by a subpar provider. You don't think that's a bad decision that makes you a bad mother?
Well, that goes back to what you said about your baby mother. Like, the decision to have sex isn't based off of how they feel you'll be as a father. It's off their physical attraction, or drugs may be involved, so it's deterring their thinking. So they think about that next hour of physical activity, not the
30 minutes.
18.
20
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's crazy though, man, because it's honestly.
This nigga said an hour. Like, hold up.
Some of us can put out a round 2 every once in a while. But but like, it's interesting because just listening to this conversation.
He's still young. He's still young.
I done lost 70 pounds. Hey, when you lose 70 pounds, man,
he a young buck.
That endurance a little day ain't 30 yet, man. Let me enjoy it. But like, even just
hey, bro, it ain't even about the endurance, bro. I ain't got time.
Bro, Jay, if you can't do it in 20 minutes, bro, give up.
Hey, leave me alone, bro.
No. Hey, D-Bro, he said an hour.
Hey, he's still young, bro. Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, what's wrong with
he put the sweatband on, so I'm about to get it in, baby.
Let me drink this Gatorade, darling. 1 second.
Whatever, man.
An hour?
Yeah.
Do that thing.
I mean, but we talking about foreplay. We talking about whatever. I ain't explaining myself. Anyways, I ain't explaining myself. I'm about to get I ain't messing with y'all. Whatever.
Hey, do your thing, baby. Do your thing.
Big old niggas ain't messing with y'all.
Woo!
but look though, what I'm saying is, based off of the conversation, it sounds like men and women make the same mistakes, but men pay more for them.
Because women are not considered to be. That's the thing. Women are not really held accountable for their actions because men do not really respect women. They think women, for a woman to accept, for them to say, well, I'm going to use this to my advantage, what they're not really understanding is the reason why we don't hold you to the same standard because we don't respect you to the level as a man. So as long as you're reaping the benefits of not being able to control yourself, you will be stuck in that position of less than. Because I don't look at D-Raj as, dang, D-Raj, you ain't got no money for food. I'm going to feel some type of way like, dang, bro, I respect you as a man. You can't even buy something to eat. But if D-Raj was a fine chick, like, girl, you too fine to be hungry. It's different.
Right.
Because we don't respect them to do, we don't think they can control their emotions. We don't think they can handle the workload. We don't think they're strong enough to take care of it. So that's why all these things are in place. My belief is that how am I a deadbeat, but a guy who goes to the military for 24 months at a time in Iraq isn't? Oh, he's protecting the country. Well, he has no bullets if I don't drive, so I'm part of the war machine.
Right.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, but that's good. I mean, because I think I don't know if you got a bunch of videos. So I don't know if you ever explained it like that for the people. You know what I'm saying, to see where you're coming from. So that's good that you got that out there like that. So
I don't give a fuck how they feel. No, I'm telling you, once I do a video, I don't look at YouTube again. So I put another video. I don't know what's going on over there. Be honest with you.
Right.
That's why.
Do you read your comments?
Fuck no. For what?
See, that's my problem. Hey, that's my mistake, yo. I'm still trying to work on that.
Listen,
I keep trying to tell bro, stop reading them goddamn comments.
Stop reading them comments, because them comments are there to put seeds of doubt in your mind and bring you down. They're just hating.
Because bro, no matter how big your YouTube grows, the negative gonna be there. They're gonna find something wrong.
Matter of fact, it's gonna get worse.
True. Because bro, before, like you said, when you get to 5,000, boy, they gonna come for you.
That's right.
Because before that, it was nothing but positive. I had no dislikes on my YouTube. Yeah. Now it could be a video of me teaching my son how to count money, and it's dislikes.
Bro, I was getting
what in the hell? Right? Like that's just crazy. Like, bro, you have to be so miserable to click on a video and hit dislike.
But I told you what I think that was when I called out Drake. People are happy with their lives, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, Trucker, see, this is what you need to be doing this, man. Not eating that stuff you eat, man. Okay. This is
keto
pure.
right here, though. This keto.
Bro, this is keto too. Apple juice.
You don't see how
freshly squeezed.
Look, bro. What you mean?
Hey, bro, that's the light, bro. Hey, he got the little light ring around the phone.
Dog, that's Bohemian Glow. Don't get mad because your cells ain't together.
Hey, bro, look. When I get by the light, hold on, where the light at? Look at that. Look at the glow.
Look for the light. Mine shine.
Look at the glow.
That's marmalade lotion. You don't know. What I'm saying is.
So, Jay, what you got, Jay? Because you dark.
Hey, bro, I ain't got no light, bro. I mean, my light broke right here. Hey, man, you know what I mean? What you want me to do, man? 70 pounds down, man.
But, I mean, the reason why I don't get involved in that stuff, because if it pulls you in. That's another thing, too. You can give me a bad comment all you want to. It still helps my algorithm.
Yeah.
A dislike does damn near the same thing as a regular like. It shows engagement on the channel. So them being hateful is helping the channel.
Yeah, it's an impression.
It's an impression regardless. Right. So I let them say whatever they want to say.
Yeah, I don't know why, man. I maybe it's me.
My man's reading the comments, boy.
Yeah, maybe
I'm like, if you gonna read the comments, use them.
With insecurity,
just use them.
or my confidence, or I don't know, man. But I do pretty good for the most part. But it'll just be that one. And it just be like, damn, bro, like I don't even know you, and you talking crazy to me. Like I didn't like nutted in your mama mouth or something like that. Like
Mm.
it's crazy. Like
But you
I
technically supposed to be filling your day with productive activities. You shouldn't even have time to read that shit. You should be looking at Skillshare, learning another skill. I have 6 different arts I'm trying to learn at one time. I don't have time for this CR England person that just got there to start telling me how he feels about my take on trucking. I don't have time for that.
Right.
yeah,
You feel
That's
how
a
you
fact.
want to feel. I'm the guru picker. You watching me.
yeah,
Ooh.
No one, and that's what I'm saying. Well, I feel this way. No one knows who you are or care. You're not.
Right.
You're not big enough to make a impact.
right,
That's why when people diss me, I diss them back, but I won't say their name
right.
because
Hey, bro, that eat them up, boy.
once you realize the troll process, the whole point is for you to say their name. They don't even mean what they say. They just want you to say their name, and I won't say
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Mm.
That's
But
how
they
old
know I'm
boy
talking to
was.
them.
Right. Hey, bro,
And
that
then
don't be eating them up, boy.
the minute, and then when you do address them, because I've addressed a couple one on one, they be so happy to talk to you, man. It's just be like, bro, you
Yeah.
understand if you would have just reached out to me regular, like you would have got this same type of response, but you ain't had to like your boy ain't gonna say his name. I said it earlier, but the one time I did talk to him on a Google Hangout live feed, whatever, man, dude was God bless you, man. It's so happy, so good to talk to you, man. And I'm just like, huh? Like, bro,
Right.
you talked about tying my son up, putting him in the bag, kidnapping him, and this, just for this?
Yeah.
Like, this is nuts, bro. This is insane.
Because attention is better than heroin right now.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
It's all about attention. People will say anything. I'll go on somebody's live, and I've been on. I call anybody live, and they don't get funky with me on the phone. Everything's man, so and so. So tell me how this, tell me how that, and then they name it. Trucker Brown calls in and shit. Like they'll do the whole thing because it's a fact. I'm a stimulus package to the hood. Just put my name in your video, bro. You don't get money. It's a fact.
Mm.
So, and I said this before. I'm the son. It's not an ignorant thing to say. Mathematically, to what we do, I'm the son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And as a man that's comfortable with himself, I can agree with that.
Because
I
when I
won't
do
get angry.
something at the center of the solar system, it makes everybody else try to eat off that same wave, and it works. So I am feeding everybody. That's why I was like, oh, he done quit OTR, fake Damu. The fact that you had to make a news blog on what I did, I'm giving your channel content. That's why I said, you know what, I'm gonna stop dropping. And every time I stop dropping, no one else makes it. It just goes dry. Where everybody at?
Right.
Because
Well,
the fact is,
I'm 7 months behind, so that's why.
I feel you. But what I'm saying is, if I don't provide you with content, you do not have enough creative juices to sustain your channel.
Right.
What is considered sustaining? Because my sustain at 6,000 might be different than your sustain at 70,000. Because for me, if I get 1,000 views a video, and I make $300 to $600, that's sustaining me at my level. So, like, what is the graph that you're going by when you say they not sustaining? Because they might be, because clearly we're lower than you because you got, the most. But so when you say sustain, are you saying they can't even sustain their own average of numbers?
When I say sustain, I mean you being able to creatively come up with good subject matters without other channels.
Right.
That means if none of us are talking to each other, you're gonna come up with subject matters on your own out of the industry that came out of your brain. Not TV got a Peterbilt now. That's not sustaining your channel. Also, if your highest hit videos have my name and face on it, I'm your daddy. I mean, now I'm not saying who does because I haven't checked who does. I'm just saying you may want to look at your stuff and you look in your top uploads. If I'm up there, like, I own you. Now, if you go to my top uploads, is your name there? No, because I can sustain my channel. That's why I do interviews. That's why I do different things. That's why I do different stuff. I have 9 different videos that I can do as far as a skill. That's why I have different cameras, one for vlogging, one for photography, one for interviews, one for I have different stuff. So now my channel has 6 different programs that I can put out. And this go back to something else. Anyone who's hung out with me back in the day and I did videos with, that is out of the kindness of my heart. Because the truth of the matter is, I can just do videos alone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need no one to do a video with me.
Right.
And now I'm not trying to be ignorant and say that I grew anybody's channel, because I'm not going to say that. But what I will say is, if you're not trying to learn the craft of creating and bringing it to market, it's going to show. If your banners haven't got better, your thumbnails haven't got better, everyone should have a DSLR. If you got a YouTube, because what are you putting on your thumbnails? Oh, I use my phone. Well, you're behind.
Right.
What's a DSLR on there?
Huh?
What's a DSLR there?
A DSLR, a camera, actual camera.
Oh, shit.
This is my thing. If
I knew that. Yeah, come on, D-Ross, catch up.
If the thumbnail of your channel, the main thing people click on is the thumbnail.
True.
Okay, that should be the highest quality as possible. Even if you're not trying to be a photographer, that is a portion of photography. So that's why you see what I'm learning equates to what I'm trying to do. So when you go to someone's page and the thumbnails is nothing but what the video put out, and they use their phone for the video, it shows. And when a person comes to your page and it looks amateur.
Some people would say they don't really care about what it looks like if the content is good.
People say a lot of shit like a fat ass don't matter, but they all fucking strippers. It's stupid, bro. It's dumb. That's dumb.
Right.
No one does something to do bad at it. No one does something to do bad at it. This is another thing too. No one goes through what we go through on here if they don't want it to get big.
Yeah, that's a
Why are you letting me make $2,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month, and you make $600? When if you apply the foundation, you can make the same.
Right.
But you're too busy jiggabooing, driving down the street, and you're listening to BS and being in everybody's business and listening to stupid live feeds from stupid people when you could have been learning. I didn't just come out the butt knowing how to use a DSLR. I had to learn how to do it.
Right.
But this is what I'm saying. So you'll hate on me and say, oh, he only got there because of this. No one only gets nowhere because of one thing. That is an ingenuine statement. Michael Jordan is not only hot because his dad was in South Carolina. That's stupid.
Right.
There's a lot of things. There's process. There's discipline. I also said I'm never going a week without dropping a video. Since I've started consistently dropping videos, I've never went a week without dropping at least one video. That's why I have 1,985 produced videos on the platform.
Yeah, you do. I seen it.
And these people and some of y'all just stopped for 3 weeks. Okay. I don't feel like
bro,
today.
I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get better.
Hey, bro, it's hard to make videos as a local driver, man. Ain't even nothing to talk about.
That's it. That's where I really got behind. When I went home for 4 months, I got behind, bro. It was
nothing to fucking talk about.
That's why I have so many channels, and I experiment how I do, because I know when I get out of this truck, the channel's dead. They want to see you in the truck. As soon as they know your lifestyle's not the truck, they're not watching, bro.
Yeah.
That was proven when I got out of the truck. It was proven when little guy got out the truck. It was proven when you got out of the truck.
Didn't little guy try to do movie reviews or some shit like that?
I'm not gonna say what he was doing. I'm not saying that the content was bad or not.
I think
that the climate we're in, they're not gonna watch.
It's another group of people that's trying that out and learning that it's not really going.
It's garbage. and let's be real. If you go on there and you just gonna be a hood preacher, you're not gonna go far. Yeah. Your content has to appeal to more than just the people on your block.
Right.
Because for be real, 15% of the country is black. Maybe 6% of that is in the hood. And maybe 4% of that give a shit to hear about the hood. So now you've niched yourself down so small. The reason why you can't articulate yourself the way I'm doing now, that's why no white people are subbing to you. Because A, you're using a bunch of slang they don't understand. They don't respect. And your channel is supposed to have value in the video. If your value is marmalade scooping, sugar cooning, then there's no value. There's nothing there. So they don't.
Right. Why is Jay? Why you laughing, Jay?
Because, man, you know what the real algorithm is, man. It take it to the next level.
What's that?
You gotta start rating them dick pics, man. You know.
Oh man! Get me off the camera! Get me off! Hey, bro, get me, hey, bro!
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you go through the roof on that one.
Hey, bro, I'm off the camera, bro. I'm going.
Hey, we about that life podcast. I'm sorry, am I the wrong podcast? I'm just saying. I'm just going along with the
Where you gotta walk
You just said rating dick pics will get your algorithm popping. You are nasty, bro. Oh
my God.
Hey, D-Rod, I'm about to test your messiness. Who you know doing that?
Hey, man,
you asking Jay? Okay,
I don't
know nobody doing that. Who you know doing that?
Hey, man, I've seen on my Instagram feed, man, like, because when I start following YouTube truckers, like I follow them on Instagram, and I used to do it on Facebook, but I kind of, Facebook is my way to separate. So I just kind of see what people be doing in their everyday lives, and I used to rock with still do the Rankins channel, right? Trucking and marriage and stuff, because they had a combination of OTR and local. So I thought that was an interesting concept for the wife to be OTR and the
what does
husband
that have
to
to
be local.
Do with dick pics?
No, I'm getting there. I gotta explain it to you. So what I've seen is that they took their channel from trucking and they turned it into a couple channel. Like they just left trucking altogether, and it just looked like their numbers, because me and my wife once upon a time was trying to do the same thing, so I was watching them for that. But it just seems like their numbers, even with a platform already established somewhat, it just dropped. And so what I'm noticing now on Instagram is just like, it seems like an attempt to get back to that level where they were when they were talking about trucking on YouTube. So I seen a joint where, they got OnlyFans accounts popping and Snapchats and all that stuff. And, they up there rating dick pics, and you know what I'm saying? They up there.
First of all, stop. I'm going to go ahead and call BS. I just don't believe that. I don't believe it.
Hey, man, well,
I refuse to believe that. And I don't think no one is rating dick pics. I don't think no one's doing that. You know what you have to do? You would have to post something showing me that is happening before I can say I believe that's happening. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it. You know what? I'm doing a D-Rod. I don't see it.
Hey, man,
And let's go on Jay's premise and say that that's happening, because I don't believe it now. What is your view of that if they was doing that allegedly?
I believe that, like you said, man, I have softened to a point where I'm not going to tell you how to be happy, but it's just interesting to come into the content game doing trucking and already having established a career, to making a hard left and doing that as a married couple. I think it's kind of crazy, to be honest. You know what I mean?
D-Raj?
I can't hear you. What?
D-Raj.
Well, if it was true, I wouldn't agree with it for my wife. Okay, we wouldn't do that. But again, whatever makes you happy, by all means. But I've seen the post.
So you saying
I've seen the post? Yeah, I've seen it.
He don't believe nothing he don't see, so he see it, so he believes it.
I've seen it.
But that thought,
I've seen it.
You know what I mean?
I got a drink.
And I've heard other YouTubers talk about it, and I was just like,
when did this happen? I'm sorry, I can't believe it, but so
Hey,
let
man,
me explain to me exactly what's going on. So you're telling me that
first of all, I only brought it up to go with the point.
you sure did. You did, buddy.
it's out now.
You did.
It's out now.
Yeah, it's out now. You did. So please elaborate, Mr. A Trucker Named Jay.
Hey,
you're
man,
telling me that somebody is rating other drivers' penis pictures.
I don't know if it's other drivers.
I think they have it's to expand beyond trucking, so they're rating everybody's dick pictures. So not just truckers.
I'm not. But you keep saying, you saying they as the person, not they as the couple.
Well, I mean, you're married, so everything you do, it has to be as a.
No, stop.
One.
Hey, bro, chill, bro. Chill, bro. Chill. Hey,
No.
Bro, we're going to get canceled on the first episode.
Let me clarify. I'm not trying to be funny and saying that he's looking at the pictures with her. I'm saying that I don't believe she can do that without that green light. Because my wife damn sure wouldn't even come close to doing anything like that.
Now I gotta defend him and be the devil's advocate. You are stifling your wife's creativity by not letting her do that.
Well, she's just gonna be a stifled woman. Whatever the hell stifle means, she just gonna be that. She can't get more stifled over here.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to take a women on this. You are stopping. You're basically putting your wife in a box and not letting her be who she is, and you're stopping her from doing that. Like you're a bad.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And you know it's funny.
Hey, but hold up. I gotta respond. I'm gonna use your point against you. My wife should have established who she was before she got married and had kids. She's married with kids, so it's too late to try to venture into this new career. You should have thought about that before you.
So
to your point. Your point earlier was that you should establish a career.
I'm waiting for you to finish talking so I can give you a rebuttal.
Go ahead.
So you're saying that since she had kids, she is no longer a sexual being and she can't express her sexuality?
I'm saying
Beyonce does it.
I'm saying to your
Megan
point.
Stallion does it.
Of course. But I'm saying to your
Janet Jackson does it.
To your point, Janet Jackson, Meg Thee Stallion, Beyonce,
Kim K does it.
Kim K. They all established these as careers before they had kids. So, to the point of my wife trying to do it now, I would not, to your point, no. I would not want my wife to do that because she has kids.
Well, a woman could say, because they're not here to defend themselves, so I have to defend them.
Come on.
A woman would say that you're insecure.
And they would be correct, 1,000%. So 1,000%.
Would you be afraid that maybe one of those picks that she rates maybe look better than yours?
Probably. Yep. I'm rolling. Man, we out here now, baby. We out in the gloves and the hey, yep. Because if you think that I'm about to be, I'm telling you, if you think that I'm about to be 2,500 miles away in California, and my wife is in the 757 getting 11-inch dick pics, and I'm gonna be cool with that shit, you got me. No, sir.
Listen, if you was a real man,
I guess I'm a whatever. Hey.
But you know, on some real though, I've talked about that with my wife, not rating pics, but still, I want to make sure. Yeah, no. I want to make sure in our relationship that she is doing everything that it is she wants to do. You know what I'm saying? So in parts, I can see what they're doing. I don't agree with the pick rating. I don't agree with that. But fortunately I don't have to worry about that because my wife would never do that. Again, which is not a problem.
Like, you don't know that.
You're right. I would hope. I feel like
if your wife said she wanted to do something in this realm, what are you gonna tell her?
No.
But who are you to dictate to her what she can do in expressing herself.
I am her husband.
No, because one, in the marriage that we're in, we talk about these things first. Before we started this podcast, I talked to my wife about doing it. Because I'll probably say some stuff that may be, because again, it's like we're talking. So, and even with me, with my body, trying to get my body real quick, I just got to flex. You know what I'm saying? Me getting my body right. I talked to the wife about when I get my body right, I'm going to be doing videos with my shirt off.
Yeah.
And she said, okay. But again, and
so you
people
get to
like, well,
express yourself sexually by doing videos with your shirt off because you got smaller, but she can't do what she want to do. That's double standard.
No, because I expressed that on my channel. I put her on mine.
Doing a video with your shirt off and
as a man
pics is not even in the same realm.
Okay, so can she do a video with her shirt off?
Well, my wife.
Yes.
Yeah, in a bathing suit. We could be in a bathing suit. She could be in a bathing suit.
What's the context of the video?
But she didn't have to ask no context, but you was able to do it.
Yes.
Because
I want to be an Instagram model. I want to be like.
See, I
want to be like.
Again, I'm insecure.
If you drink this, you will get this. Okay. Drink this 2 times a day. You can get this.
So you believe that you as a husband has more latitude to do things than your wife does?
No.
That's.
But again, I take pictures of my wife and post them. I do that. But again, when we say if we're rating stuff, like, if we're going to pick rating or a bathing suit, we're going to be lit. Yeah, we're going to go to the bathing suit.
Like, you got to understand that a married woman rating dick pictures is not normal. I don't care what nobody says.
So y'all saying that a married woman should not be able to rate dick pics?
Hey, bro, Jay, be careful. You see what he did, Jay? Be careful.
No, I hear him.
He's throwing the oop. He's throwing the oop.
Now watch me block that shit. I'm saying that my married wife will not be rating any dick pics. I cannot tell anybody what to do in their marriage.
But you already said you didn't agree with it. I'm not asking you to tell them what to do. So if you're not agreeing with it, you believe that a married woman should not be doing that.
That is my belief. Yes, a married woman should not be rating dick pics.
And you've never liked an Instagram model's ass pic?
Of course.
Because that's rating. Is that not rating a sexual part? The same way she's rating the dick pic?
That is an appreciation for content.
How is it not appreciation for the dick? I'm confused.
Because the dick that's a more intimate. That's intimacy.
Then I don't want to be a person's whole ass clapping in a video. That's more intimate than that.
Yeah. A dick picture? That's no different than my wife liking a bodybuilder up there making his abs dance. That's some general stuff. But a dick picture or a pussy picture, like if that model was on the Instagram feed and she was playing with her stuff, then I would feel okay.
Jay,
what about watching porn? What about watching porn?
You never looked at no porn with a chick doing that and appreciated it? Come on, bro. Yeah. It's a slippery slope we on here.
It is, but I'm willing to go down it, though. I'm willing to go down it. Because I don't think it's I really
just
don't think
say
it's
that your wife can't do everything that you can do. Just be honest.
No. But again, with that, my wife is very reserved.
You pulling that from that, though.
I'm asking you a simple question. Can your wife do everything that you do? Are you comfortable with your wife doing?
My wife can do whatever she wants to do as in our marriage. Same with me.
That's a non-answering of the question. The question is, can your wife, would you be okay with your wife doing everything that you do?
Yeah.
So what is it what is it that you do?
No, D-Rod, what? You go. Are you okay with your wife doing everything that you do?
No.
So that is in itself a double standard. She has to be.
But my wife agrees with that.
That ain't what I'm talking about right now.
Yeah. Because see, what I'm saying,
my wife agrees with that.
we can't stop them from doing anything. Is what we're saying.
Mhm.
We can't
Yeah.
stop them from doing anything. But
My
so
wife is not. My wife wouldn't do a video in a bikini top.
That's
She
also
wouldn't
not
do
the
a
point.
video.
That's not what we're talking
That's
about. We're
but
not talking about what your wife would do. We're talking about your beliefs. Your belief is that you're allowed. So like right now, if I took Jake somewhere to Miami and I was like, oh man, hey, the drinks is down there, and he walked down to the beach and it's 50 naked women.
mhm.
And the song come on, you got to come original, you got to come original. Jay gonna be like, oh snap, real quick, he gonna be up on some
Right.
cheeks real quick. But
Right.
if he came around the corner and his wife was was backing up on a bodybuilder on that same beach and they was doing, would you be okay with it?
I wouldn't be okay with it, but I couldn't get mad at it if I'm doing the same thing.
You, D-Raj.
Yeah, me and my wife do the titty tatty. So if I'm doing it, she gonna do it. If she doing it, I'm gonna do it. So we just don't
Now,
do it.
but I will agree to your point of double standard because, of course, I don't want to do that shit. And as a man, I'm, more than likely I'll probably dance with, a fat ass in the club.
Hey, bro, double standard is double standard, but it's just that's
Yeah,
what it is.
don't get mad. I didn't create the double standard, goddammit.
Right,
Okay,
right. That's just what it is.
You know what I mean? My wife know I didn't create this double standard. Hey, like you said earlier, this is within the bounds of this society. This is the double standard. That even though D-Raj ain't see it, this is where it came from.
But we
So well, first of all, excuse me, Mr. Sean Brown. If you were in a relationship, would your woman be allowed to do whatever she want to do or do what you do?
Yeah.
I knew he was gonna do that. Too easy. That's too easy.
So would you be okay with her rating pics if that's what she wanted to do?
That ain't what I do, so no.
Okay.
So
I mean,
you don't like the Instagram models on Instagram.
And not any longer. I got away from that when I became more conscious.
What was that like yesterday?
I look at no, it's a while back, and I feel like you know that. But
I know.
I personally am not really into that type of stuff now. Really, but if I look at it this way, if I can have a couple chicks inbox me on Instagram without her checking it, then I need to be cool with not checking her Instagram inbox.
But now we're talking about relationship and open relationships.
No,
because
that's not open. It's the point of do not do things that you don't want to be done to you. It's simple, right and wrong, I believe. If you're okay to be out there slapping up on oily butts, she should be able to be out there dancing up on oily abs. You can that it's childish to think anything else. It's just not it's not even. And then you're not understanding where the disbalance comes from. Because if you're treating your situation like that, you are effectively putting your situation at disbalance. So now the resent for you is at disbalance for your resent for her. And also you're putting her in a place where she's an infallible creature when the truth is she's a human just like you. If you on there got chicks in your Instagram inbox, then she should be able to have dudes in her Instagram inbox. If you liking pussy pictures, she should be able to like dick pics. Well, I don't like how it feels when you do that. Then assume she feels the same way when you do it.
Right. So what you're saying is you don't have a problem with the rating of the dick pictures.
No, I'm not doing that. Or do I have a problem with the person you said that's doing it?
Would you say that is?
Do you agree to it, or what was it? What was the question? What do we say? Do you agree with that? Are you
from what you're saying in that situation, as long as the husband is cool with it, then that should be an okay situation.
There's a couple of different ways we can go with this. And the truth of the matter is, what makes their situation work is what makes their situation work. If she rate dick pics and he's okay with it, that's cool for them. There's no one for us to put, because there's people who just like to see other dudes do their wife, and they stay married. So is that wrong? Like it gets real sketchy. Now, is it from my palette of a relationship? No, but I ain't in that relationship.
Right.
You hear me? So it is what it is. But my thing is, you can't be like, I wouldn't let her do this and that. And then I got naked bitches at the joint, and you sitting in the middle of them, painting toenails and shit. Like, what you talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
You just got to be. Another way to look at it, too, I don't particularly think that is a good representation of female drivers who are already in a lot of danger anyway.
Yeah. You know,
And
I
and
already
and,
don't
and,
agree. I don't agree that women should be, especially OTR. I
yeah.
don't agree with women being in the
And
trucking
ladies,
community.
if that's a double standard, then you just going to have to kill me,
I don't
So
man.
be
see
it. Yeah, I don't
I don't
care.
see any problem with women being OTR if they conduct themselves like their situation. Period.
I
If
don't think
you
that it's a problem. It's not because I don't believe in the woman. It's because I don't believe in the world that they would have to travel in.
but
You
that's
know what I'm
you
saying?
coddling women and not giving them the same level of respect as a man. That's
Well, then I
I do
misogynistic.
guess
give
that
him. I
that
give it. It's more. That's more respect.
No, it's not. No, it's not. If you are if you're saying that you don't believe that they should even have the opportunity, because you saying they shouldn't be OTR, that
Not to say the
alludes to.
opportunity. I just said yeah, because it's just not safe, man. It's not safe.
But though it ain't safe for nobody. Men are being found hung. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
Right.
But
So the point
physically,
is,
men are. No, I'm not going down that road.
dude,
You
men
got
get
it. I know
raped.
how you got it.
No,
Dude,
hey, bro.
men get raped.
I
Men
listen here.
get
I don't care how
raped.
women feel.
Men
Yeah,
get raped by their trucking trainer. That is that, or there are
I
cases of that.
I don't know nothing about that.
So it don't matter. What I'm
Right,
saying
right.
is,
I know.
if you have the gumption to go out there and put yourself in that situation, take the precautions to be okay. What we should not be doing is diminishing the view of you to up the likelihood of someone approaching you in a sexual way. I don't agree with that. I just think that is a strategic bad move. And I think that
Mm.
it puts other female truckers in danger because you're dealing with low brow dudes who are going to be like, man, these chicks all out here doing this.
Right.
So it puts them in a bad position. The same way when World Star Hip Hop videos come out and you wonder why the cop is so tense when he walks up to you, but everything on Twitter is us beating up people. Yeah,
Right.
a cause has an effect. It's just how it works. If you put that out there like that, they're gonna approach you like that. Oh, what's up, girl? Let me get a live show up close. And
Right.
then you're gonna feel like, oh, I'm not comfortable. But that's the energy you put out. Now, do you believe in energy, D-Raj? If you put that energy
Yeah.
out,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that energy is gonna come
Yeah.
back.
1000%.
I did. Yeah.
So strategically, I believe it's unwise. But should she be free to do it? Yes, it is. It is. If her
Yeah.
husband agrees, she is in the good place to do what she's supposed to do. But if it was
And
mine, I
I
know she'd be
definitely
doing
I
it.
agree with that. But I'm just saying when you bring it to your own relationship, it's just
Oh no, I
and
keep
when
mine
you
in check.
first see
I
it,
ain't doing it.
huh?
I keep mine in check if I was a have old lady. And none, she know better.
Yeah. Yeah.
She should be
It was a
scared to say the word dick.
Yeah.
yeah. It was a shock factor seeing that. I will say that it
And,
definitely was a shock factor.
and to the point of the reason I brought it up, because originally the point we were discussing was, when people stop dressing or stop being connected to you, their content goes down. When they were connected to you or when they were in trucking, this wasn't even going on. So this stuff didn't even start until
So
after to go back to. So that's the point that I'm not even trying to be funny. That was the point being made. So what? That's why I brought it up because it's like is that the measures that people will go to when they start that number start diminishing? Because that's what we were talking about. We were talking about
we
if
didn't,
people
we didn't, we didn't, we didn't put it in a box of working with me. We put it in a box of doing trucking content. So I want to put that clear. But
oh yeah yeah yeah
I will say that people will go to what they know in
right
any situation. If you get backed into a corner and you trying to fight for your life, you'll bite ears and everything. You'll do what you have to do.
yeah
Now the
but
problem
Right.
is that a person needs attention to that degree to where they'll put themselves in that situation. I could say, well, they'll degrade themselves, but if they don't view it as degrading, you're talking to a brick
it's not
wall.
degrading. Yeah.
Let them
Yeah.
do what they want to do, man. Hey, you only got one life. You will reap what you sow regardless. So if you're okay with the consequence of doing that, have at it.
Yeah. And I mean that's me. I'm okay with it's just saying the question was with our own stuff, so I'm okay with it.
But your old
But
lady ain't doing
no.
And
But I mean
I won't,
we said that I've talked to them about how they do their relationship and how and it's different. That's all it is.
It's different. It's modern. It's
yeah,
like I said, there's swingers clubs and Mandingo parties. You
yeah,
understand?
Right.
Mandingo parties is a real thing
Yeah.
where people,
Yeah.
dude, bro. I was at this club in and really it was at the bottom of the Ritz Carlton, and I forget. I think I was in Atlanta. I forget where I was. I know it was a southern state, and I was propositioned by a couple. I'm not gonna say what color they were. I was proposed by a lady. And she sits next to me, and she touches my shoulder. So I'm like, "What's going on?" You know what I'm saying? I could tell she was probably like 50. But I'm digging down round, it can go down. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, what's the deal? She's like, oh, you're a strong man. What do? You like a blue collar man? Are you a contractor or something like that? I'm like, I do what I do. You feel? So I'm sitting there talking. She's smelling good and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, woo. Then I feel another hand rub my shoulder. And I'm like, well, damn, this hand's strong as a motherfucker. I'm like, damn. So I'm turning over thinking, maybe it's just a big girl because I'm with it. You feel what I'm saying? It can go down. So I turn over to be like, Thickums, it's a dude, her husband. So I'm like,
dick soft in the mug.
This dude tells me, this is what we do. Don't feel uncomfortable.
That's tough.
Listen, no, it's not tough at all. I'm going home. I'm not good. No, you have a problem with someone watching? Yes, I do. I'm good on that. Like,
especially you.
It ain't my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So listen, I don't judge nobody and all that stuff. Check, please. I'm out. But they were cruising the bar to find a black male that was gonna pipe his wife, and they're happily married.
Man,
now
more power to him.
Looking at my cheeks when I'm handling business, so I'm not interested. I don't. Like my old boy said, it's a one dick fantasy, and my dream is mine. Like I don't need no extra stuff going on, but some people is into that. I got a homeboy who was offered $5,000 to do it. Like, this is what's going on out here in the world. Hedonism. But if it works for them, is it wrong? No. Nah, I ain't doing it.
Unless you're killing somebody. If you ain't killing nobody, you good. Do you think?
Hey, if old boy want to go up there and do what he do, cool. It's too freaky for me. I'm out.
Yeah.
Right.
To be real,
Jay like to go for 2 hours and shit, so he might go.
Jay, you know what I'm saying? I got a homeboy, he's from the 757.
Funny.
You call him up, he'll knock it out. But I can't do that for you. Because to be real, I would have talked to her for a while, and I wouldn't even hit her. I've never had a one night stand. Never.
Missing out.
It's not something I would have did.
Anyway. Never mind. Right.
But like my brother Shooter, I don't know if he would have been with old boy being there, but if it was just her, he would have definitely hit the joint right there and there. I'm not that type of person.
Shooter with a shot.
It's for what you want to do. So all the people out there, for people say, "Oh, DB hating," I'm not hating on nobody. Look, man, whatever floats your boat, kills your banana. Is bro, do your thing, man.
Right.
You know,
right.
My ex is 300 pounds. I'm no one to judge. We gonna know, like it is what it is. But I don't need none of that stuff going on in my vicinity. Apparently, y'all into that. Like that's what y'all.
Nah, not at all.
I mean, did y'all send a pic in? Did you send a pic in?
Nah.
Man, chill, bro.
Jay, man, he didn't get the rating.
See, look.
So now he over here bringing up dirt.
What you talking about, man? It went with the point we was talking about. What you talking about? It was
hey, bro, I tried to turn my camera off, bro.
It was part of the conversation. We were talking about. So. We went from you being the son of YouTube to YouTubers falling off once they stopped talking about trucking. So I wanted to use that as an example because I felt like that's a perfect example.
Dude, your messy boots, Jay.
Woo!
Dude,
hey, bro, the King Subliminal, bro. Yeah.
What is he talking about? It wasn't even a subliminal.
The diss videos are, and all I want to say when this video is made, I didn't bring this up.
Oh my God!
I tried to steer the boat away from it the best way I could.
Oh my God! Yeah, man. Are we gonna come up here and be real? Or we gonna come up here and look, call it what it is, man.
was sipping tea, bro. I don't know what was going on, bro. I was sipping tea, so.
Yeah.
Listen, I ain't know
That's-
nothing about nobody rating nothing. Bro.
Oh man, it smell like pussy in here, man. Good lord.
Oh man. Oh, they sending pics or something?
Crazy. I thought we was doing the podcast. I mean, my bad. I rolled back in. My bad. Let me go back to being the C mic. My bad.
When the response video come out, and depending on how reckless the video is, I may give a second term to it, but it's coming.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
And listen, Jay, you gotta take all that, bro. You got
I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. Hey, bro, when I read the contract, D-Rod said, he said, bro, whatever we want to, you know what I mean? So.
But hey. You know D-Rob's going to let you fall off the bridge and not jump.
Yeah. Yeah. That nigga, he might
hey, bro, you want to jump off the bridge, but you a grown-ass man. What you mean?
Yeah, what it is, bro. I mean, you know, man. Like I say, I ain't knocking nothing. I want everybody to be happy. I'm just seeking understanding, man. That's all.
Hey, maybe you need to get one of them on there and ask them directly.
I thought we'd get them up here.
You know,
so, we can do that.
You know, it is what it is.
Now, get it up here.
I'm not gonna say if I'm gonna attend or not. It'll be some. Maybe I will. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But listen, don't do drugs.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Don't do drugs and social media.
This is what I need from you, D-Raj. I need you to use that same app that we used before to send this to me so I can post it and link it to get this page going.
Okay. So remember, just clips. But anyway, real quick, we appreciate y'all watching, you know, and paying attention to us. This is what we got going on, man. We're going to try to bring some content to you and get some things rocking and rolling. This is I'm About That Life podcast. We like to take the gloves off and speak the truth. The Reebird.
Apparently, the hardest cat in the clique is Jay.
Not far.
Hey, bro. Hey, I am disciple. You the son. I'm just trying to, what you call it, photosynthesis?
Hey, I ain't burn nobody like that. Jesus Christ.
But again, man, like I said, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. We're going to get out of here. And like
if
what?
I'm trying to promote my people, they might get 15 more picks now. I'm helping promote them.
I tried to. Hey, again, look. He decided to jump off the bridge. I said no.
It's free publicity, man. What you talking about? That's what it's out there for. That's what it's being promoted as. What you want? I'm just what? Is that not what it's promoted for? Would you put it out and it's a secret? I mean, you put it on your social media for your own family to see. I'm promoting you. I'm supporting. I'm just seeking understanding.
Hey, bro, how can I can't stop her from jumping off the bridge.
Don't
we halfway there. I'm waiting for the wings to spread now, so we out here. Honestly though,
Jay,
when is the anger gonna come from? No, for real, no, fuck it, we out here. Explain to me where the anger gonna come from. What did I say disrespectful?
What anger? What?
I mean, first of all, strategically, it's good to respond because this is gonna be dropped on a big channel, on my big channel, so they're gonna respond to it regardless. I mean, it's just mathematically they should.
Right.
But the anger is gonna come from you hating on her relationship and hating on how free she is. But that's not how it's gonna come out. That's not how it's gonna be spin. Now, my thing is, hey man, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. We talk on here, but my God, it's like you got a new lease on life. You just got beat cancer.
Hey, bro, I was hoping we can at least get like 3 or 4 in before we go deep.
Man, we just getting started, bro. We just getting started. I got a laundry list. We just getting started.
Don't do drugs. Please don't drink. And I was at a barbecue. I don't know what's going on.
Captain, I was at a barbecue.
Yes, I don't know why he put me in the middle because he's exploiting me right now. I need you to send me the video so I can work my little magic and everything I need to do with it, and we gonna get it popping, dog. Don't do drugs.
All right. Hold on. Stay real quick. I'm gonna end this jump, and we can talk after this. Hold on one second. I appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. We out.